Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
What does an 18-year veteran of the tech industry and a 20-year veteran of the military have in common? More than you might think. Welcome, everyone, to the Second Act Podcast, leveling up your life's journey.
You can't stop me. You don't got the power. Shut me down. That's not an option. I'm my biggest problem. You don't got the power. Shut me down. That's not an option. You can't stop me.
John, I wanted us to just do something like we did last year, just heading into the Thanksgiving holiday, do some turkey talk here on the pod. Just between the two of us. But first, starting out, giving thanks certainly to you. There would be no Second Act podcast without you, without Jeremy behind the scenes as our producer. And making some sort of magical things happen. Our audience and supporters who have grown with us over this year. I'm so grateful for the community we've put together and all the common characteristics that we all share about life. Certainly my family and close friends and how much they've been there to support me and what we've done with this. And it's just been an incredible year. I look back on what we've accomplished and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, man. It's been amazing. And it, for me, is all about the thankfulness of the supporting cast. You being on the other end of the microphone, Jeremy producing, like you said, but really it's my wife and the people around me that allow me to jump on here on a weekly basis and have this conversation. The greatest thing that I take away from when we have guests on is how they're building or have built their team in the past. And that's truly what I'm trying to replicate. In everything that we do, we are only one portion of that. And it's the people that we surround ourselves with, or the people that we're spending the majority of time with, that are coming in and recognizing our weaknesses and filling those voids and holding up our hands when we can't hold them up ourselves any longer. It's really impactful. And I think from the stories that I've taken the most away, it's when the people, our guests, get on and talk about how they are transitioning from one thing to another, but they've got that supporting role that's provided to them, or the spouse steps up and says, hey, let's go in this together, even though this is your thing, or the people that fill their team with such extraordinary talent, but that talent is willing to take a back seat for the person that's driving the bus. And that's truly what I'm thankful for. And thankful to get to see and come back and listen to these episodes after we record them and think, man, we have now recorded 50 plus episodes, 60 plus episodes.
Yeah.
We could do this forever and still be impressed by every single person that we interview. Because the stories are just that good, and the sacrifice and endurance of these people to get up and go again and then come and provide us the feedback and the retrospective look is just, it's amazing. So I'm thankful for it all, man. Did not think that we would be here, when we sat down, a year and a half ago and said, let's record 7 episodes. So
I know. And here we are. And a special shout out of thanks to our guests. I mean, they show up. Everybody respects each other's point of view. There's so many different perspectives from such diverse backgrounds on this show. But I come back to the common ground of grit and persistence and perspective and purpose and community. And they're all shared. I don't know one guest who doesn't touch on each and every one of those things. And to your point, like I love their stories, no matter what they are. They're just... They're so interesting, and they've had such a positive impact on my life and my thinking. And, I've gone through my own sort of self-reflection exercises and understanding what's important and where I want to go. And it's just fun. Like we've been experimenting as two yahoos trying to build a podcast and this online media presence. And it's just been such a fun way and creative outlet for me to do something like this. And
Yeah.
like you said, it's not something that you're going to get old or outdated doing. I mean, I could be having this conversation with you in 30 years and with different people and still be like wowed and mesmerized by some of the stuff people are sharing with me.
And this Thanksgiving episode, I want to go back to a conversation that we just had recording with Henry, the
Yeah.
author of the second act book.
Coming out next year.
We were talking about seeds, right? And I look at this podcast that we're doing as a seed that we planted a year and a half ago, and look what it's grown to. And some of these conversations are sprouting other conversations and other projects and other things out of them. And I talked about old seeds, how they, even if they go ignored for a long period of time, they can still be planted, a little bit of water, a little bit of soil, and they will start to sprout. But out of that, I want to tell people that, when you plant seeds, expect that those seeds will produce a harvest. When you buy a pack of seeds from the store and there's 100 in there or 50 in there and you plant them all, the chances that they're all going to sprout are pretty good. I mean, you don't think, oh, I'm going to get 10% or 50%. You most likely think I'm going to get probably 98%. Well, that's pretty good, but you can't expect a harvest. You can't expect growth from something you don't plant. So encouragement to those listening out there. If you've got these dreams, if you've got these things that you want to pursue, you got to speak it into existence. You got to put action into what you want that seed to produce. You got to get a partner and start a podcast and just record the first episode that sounds like garbage and you ramble on. You got to do those things, because then 63 episodes later, you find yourself recording a Thanksgiving episode or whatever it is. But to that point, everybody's got these little seeds of desire or little seeds of a goal or something they want to achieve. Just start putting that seed in the ground, proverbial, and start putting action into it. Because you'll wake up and you'll, be like, man, I can't believe I'm here. Talk about my second act. We were just talking offline. I had to start with a bunch of cold calls and emails, and here I am at the end of the year, and it's
Crushing it.
Wildly successful. Well, it's been successful because I've just started from
Yeah.
putting action out there.
But with this being a Thanksgiving episode and using your analogy, I mean, first and foremost, be grateful that you have seeds to plant, right? Like
Yes.
not everyone is so fortunate to have one or more packs of seeds to put in the ground and try to make things happen. So having gratitude for just the seeds that are in your possession, to use
Absolutely.
the analogy and keep going with that. And then it's a process. Anybody who's ever done any landscaping, planted anything in their life knows that you cannot rush nature. And if you water it too much, it's going to die. If you don't water it enough, it's going to die. But if
Yep.
you do the things you're supposed to do day in and day out, something is going to happen.
Absolutely. What is it that you are planting? What is it that we are trying to do in this next season of harvest?
I'm going to maintain the things that we've been able to accomplish, specifically with the second act, and hopefully continue to grow the community. The things on a personal level I feel are durable. They're not going to go away. And in some ways, I've had a permanent paradigm shift in thinking on really the most important things in life. There's other dimensions to my professional life that are becoming interesting. I've talked more about how I might be able to leverage my expertise more with people, smaller to mid-sized businesses that may be looking for go-to-market expertise or product management expertise. And so those have been interesting conversations on a personal level and how I might be able to help. And just see where that goes in 25. And then who knows? I mentioned it in the conversation with our guest that life is more fun when you live it as an experiment. So I just keep my eyes and ears open and just have a willingness to explore more so now than I ever have.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting that when you hear live life as an experiment, you know, there's, I think, probably two schools of thought, right? Experiment as, oh man, let's put a couple ingredients together, let's throw it in the oven and see what it comes up, and it could be amazing, you know. But I think there's the other half of that is, oh, experiment. Wow, that sounds like it could fail, or it sounds risky, or it sounds, you know, dangerous. And there may be pieces of both of that, but like we heard from our guest, there's sometimes there's some great genius that can come out of that, and some great fulfillment, you know, by just, you know, what did he say? He said, you go to the grocery store and you try, you know, 10 different types of cheese to figure out what you like, but we don't do that with life. We don't try to do different things with life. And why? You know, everybody's got their own reasons, kids, family, you know, needs. I don't want to downplay those things, but there are some things that could be done on the side, or in your free time, or in conjunction with other events, that you could be trying to do things concurrently to expand. And
Exactly.
it's an experiment, you know, and you may find out, man, that's not for me. I mean, the year after I retired, somebody said to me yesterday, I was just trying to find what stuck. It was all of an experiment, and I can walk away thinking, man, I really tried. I thought I'd be good at these things. I didn't enjoy them as much as I thought, but I was better off for trying them, because it gave me time to find something that I could really get into. So experiment.
Experiment, John, and I think as humans, I'm guilty of this. We overestimate what we can do in the short term and underestimate what we
Yep.
can do in the long term. And
100%.
just be consistent. Just keep doing it. We talked about it a million times. 1% a day gets you to where you want to be. So, I mean, I'm thankful for this entire year, to put a bow on what we've just chatted about, and
Oh yeah.
wouldn't have changed 1 second of it.
Yeah, I too am very grateful. The only thing I would have changed is I would have gotten that Land Rover, or that Earth Roamer with Pavel. We would have wrapped it in, you know, the second act vehicle wrap, and we would have toured the U.S. doing podcasts. But I mean,
It's
you're
2025.
it's right. I'm sure he's itching for this permission to call us and say, "Hey, I'd love for you guys to get to work." But so if you're listening, Pavel, let us know.
If you're listening, yeah, we're waiting for your call. I think you have our numbers. So
That's right.
with that said, thank you everyone for being a loyal listener to us, and we appreciate you in
Absolutely.
so many ways.
Love it, and we're going to keep crushing it in 2025. But for right now, we're thankful for you, our listeners, our support. Michael, I'm thankful for you, and man, have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, John. Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.
The Second Act with Michael and John stars Michael Newborn and John Ballinger. The podcast is produced by Seltzer Kings. For more information on the show, check out michaelandjohn.com, or if you'd like to get involved in the conversation, give the guys a shout on their socials at The Second Act with Michael and John on most platforms. Thanks for listening.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.